Part 3 of our series, a discussion with the Lorain County Auditor, Craig Snodgrass, discusses why revenue on voted school levies remains relatively flat and also discusses inside millage. A common question I hear is, why does it seem like schools across Ohio are always asking for money? Don't they see additional revenue on their existing levies due to inflation? So if revenue remains relatively flat for voted school levies, is there a way they capture any inflationary growth?
Well, I think, as I previously mentioned, due to House Bill 920 and levies actually being adjusted down based upon the values going up, that rate comes down. However, there's also a component of your tax bill which is inside millage, and that's 10 mills. And pretty much in Lorain County, everybody's at 10 mills. I believe in Avon Lake. First of all, everybody has 1.6 mills to their tax bill, which is from the county, which goes to either the general fund or debt service. And then, then the remaining, millage, 4.2 I know goes to the schools.
Correct.
And the city also gets 4.2, which is split, I believe, between their general fund, police, and fire pensions. So that makes up your 10 mills. That goes back to, I believe, like the 1920s with the Depression and so forth. And it's kind of the holy grail down in Columbus that people can never get to see, but it's kind of, that's where that came from. And you cannot pay more than 10 mills, cannot exceed the 10 mil. Anything above 10 mills has to be voted on. And that 10 mills does not get adjusted. There's where you're going to get your growth. So there's where that, your difference between your tax bill. So if you, from what you had previously to, say you had a $100,000 increase in value, there's where your additional taxes really come from, is that inside millage. Some of it will go to the schools, some of it will go to the city, and then the remainder will go to the county, which the 1.6 mills that the county has is actually like the lowest in the state. And some other counties have a much higher inside millage. But that's where you're paying that additional, that's where you see that additional increase. But again, it's also then you get the other part of your tax bill, which most of it's voted, will get knocked down based upon growth. And that's why I say when, if you went up 27%, you will not be paying 27%. You're going to get a little bump on that 10 mil floor, but then everything else is going to get adjusted down because of the value growth. So it's kind of a guessing game. How far down do you go?
And could we talk just a little bit, an estimate you had given me was approximately $1.2 million is what Avon Lake schools would receive on their inside millage.
That will be the additional. That's basically the value growth that you had compared to what you received this year, compared to what we project for next year. You're going to get 4.2 mils of that increase. Likewise, the city will receive 4.2 and the county will get 1.6. That's where, yes, you will receive about 1.2 million. And that was on residential, and you do have some commercial, so you'll get a little bit there. But I know a lot of treasurers that call me, and they always ask what our growth factors are, because I believe they're building it already into their budget. And that's something maybe you could speak to more so. But I know people say, where's all this extra going? And I've encouraged, even through my public hearings, go to the commissioners meeting, ask about theirs. Go to the school board and ask about what they're doing with it. And likewise the city. I've talked to a number of superintendents. They realize that they're going to get some additional monies. They do not want to go back to their taxpayers. And they have projects lined up that they normally would have to go back to their taxpayers for dollars, but they actually have a plan for it. And that's, I think, I commend them for that. They're getting out ahead of it. And I'm sure, you will be able to speak at some time about what you may be doing with it. I know a lot of times a lot of this money goes towards the unfunded mandates we get. And I know from a government perspective, we keep getting more and more pushed down, more requirements, more reporting requirements, all that cost us more money, but there's no funding for it. So I know a lot of times that's where a lot of this extra dollars go.
Right. And for us, we did include that estimate of inside millage, the additional revenue we'd receive in our 5-year forecast that was approved this last May. So the 2 levies that we have on the ballot in November, that is factored into our forecast already. It's roughly about 3% of our budget. So unfortunately, it doesn't negate that need for us to place those levies on the ballot.